My name is Lowry Snow. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Pointed Mountain State Land Authority Board. This is the appointed time for our monthly meeting. My other co-chair, or our other co-chair, Representative Tusher, has joined us virtually. We are gathered today for this meeting at the Draper City Chambers, and we appreciate Mayor Walker, who is also a member of this board, hosting us here in the chambers. It gets us actually a little closer to the site for which all of this business is about, so we appreciate that. And later this afternoon, some of the board members will be undertaking another site visit at the old site that is being planned and developed. That's part of our business. We have members of the board with us here assembled. We also have members of the board who have joined us virtually. We express, as I said, our appreciation to Mayor Walker. Since our last board meeting, our staff and site crews continue to make good progress on critical backbone infrastructure. A little later, we'll have some update from our director. We look forward now to 2026. This is a good time to confirm with members of the board that the second Wednesday of every month in 2026 at 10 a.m. still works. Is there any objection to that? Okay, we will plan on moving
really quickly. It works fine for me. Mayor Walker did tell me yesterday there's a chance it might be challenging for him, but he's hoping not to. So at this point, I think we proceed with just that note in the back of our minds that there is a chance that it could become a challenge, but he'll keep us posted.
Thanks for that, Mayor Ramsey. And as you said, I think we'll move forward, but if it turns out that that's a challenge, we'll let everyone know and we'll try to work around that schedule. So, any other feedback from members of the board right now? Not seeing anything. Let's move to the next item on the agenda, which is to take public comment. As we all know, this is a public project, and we take seriously our job to accept and receive public input from members of the community. Is there anyone here assembled, member of the public, that would like to comment before I ask for anyone virtually attending? Not seeing any hands and no one coming forward. Is there anyone joining as a member of the public virtually that wants to take some time? Don? No. All right, we'll move forward. Next item on the agenda is to consider approving the minutes of our last meeting held November 12th, 2025. Those minutes were contained in your board packet. We express appreciation to Jen, our executive assistant, for preparing those and doing them so well. Any comments before I ask for a vote on any changes that you know need to be considered or changed? Not seeing any indication to speak, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of November 12th, 2025.
Motion to approve the minutes of November 12th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you, Senator Stevenson, for the motion, and thank you for the second, Representative. I just need to move down the line. Okay. Mayor Ramsey.
Wait a minute, you mean go off the line.
Senator, yes.
Up the line.
You're right. This is new setting, so give me some slack here, and someday you guys will all be old too. Okay.
I sat in her chair, or the mayor's chair, and this is definitely a movement down the line.
All right. The motion before us that has been moved and seconded is that we approve the minutes of our November 12th, 2025 meeting. We'll place that for vote. All in favor of that motion say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is to take a look at our financial conditions. This is an item that is on our agenda every month to keep track of our finances. We look to our Director of Operations, Don Willey. We recognize that the trust has been placed by the public in us to make sure that the funds are used appropriately. So with that, Don, we will turn the mic to you to review our current situation financially, and also take this opportunity to thank you for your good work.
Thank you, Chair Snow. I appreciate that. Extend our appreciation as well to our Finance Committee, Mayor Ramsey, Mayor Walker, and to Director Ambre for their support in reviewing our financials every month. Our year-to-date actuals at this point are $345,454. That brings us in at about 96% on our burn rate. So we are looking really good for our overall budget. We should be at 58%. Some of our larger budget items either have not hit at this point of the year. We expect them to hit later. Just calling your attention to the few areas where we are burning a little bit higher. The reason why we are is because these are one-time expenses. And so if we front load them at the beginning of the year, it appears as though we're burning higher than we should be, but it means that we'll catch up over the course of the next 7 months of the fiscal year. So as of at the end of November, we were at 23% budget remaining on insurance and bonds. Again, so that's a one-time expense for the year. So in reality, we're actually going to come in under budget for our insurance and bonds, as well as our membership dues. So we do have one more that will hit before the end of our fiscal year, but we'll be under budget on that. We're projected to be under budget on that as well. The final item that we're burning a little bit high would be under our data processing, and that's just because we enjoy tech issues from time to time. So we've front-loaded that. We expect that. We're working with Department of Technology Services to adjust the costs incurred, and so once we have that adjusted, we should be at budget or slightly under budget on that. With that, though, we're looking good. Again, we should be at 58% or at 96%. So we're looking healthy for our budget at this time.
Thank you, Don. Also express appreciation to Mayor Ramsey, Mayor Walker, and our director for making up our financial committee. Any comments from you, Mayor Ramsey, or Director Ambre on where we are?
In good shape.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, Don, it appears, based on everything I'm hearing, that you anticipate us closing. Oh, our fiscal year doesn't close out until June of next year, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We're halfway through almost.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Don, very much. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the financials for the month of November 2025.
So moved.
So moved by Mayor Ramsey. Do I have a second?
I would second.
Second by Senator
Brad. Senator Stevenson.
I could think it was Jerry. Senator Stevenson. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion carries. Financials are approved. Next item on the agenda is to hear from our director, Michael Ambre. Mike, would you take a few minutes and update us on the progress that's been made at the site? I know that we've done a lot with respect to backbone infrastructure development, and it's exciting as we consider going vertical next year. So would you update us, please?
Sure. Thank you, Chair Snow. So there's two significant things that have advanced since our last board meeting, and so I'd like to spend a few minutes on those. The first being, we did bid out the final bid package of the infrastructure, and that was the bridge. I'm excited to announce that the bridge bids came in favorable. We had budgeted $10 million for the bridge, and the awarded bid was 6.3. So that's really good news. We saved a bit of money on that. So now we can move into the final phase, which is defining the scope for river to range. because now we know how much money we have for River to Range. And I'll keep you posted on that. And then the second item is the for sale housing RFQ, RFP process. We have slid that back to posting that next August. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is it gives us the ability to put in the infrastructure ahead of putting the RFP on the street, which we believe will return greater land values. And then the second reason is we started looking at the schedule and when we wanted to bring the for sale housing to the market. And it made a lot of sense to bring the multi-use facility, the promenade, the office building, Convergence Hall, the entertainment venue. It made sense to sort of have all of those come to market at the same time so there's not a house out there in the middle of nowhere. So that's why we kind of postponed the for sale house project until next August. And those are really the only advances that have taken place over the past month.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mike? Not seeing any hands or any indication of a question. We'll again thank you, Mike, for all of your work. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is to consider going into executive session pursuant to Utah Code 52-4-2051A and D to discuss a project proposal and or personnel issue. Pursuant to those provisions, statutory provisions, the chair would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I would move that we go into executive closed session to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property and the character or professional competency of an individual.
Thank you, Mayor Ramsey. Do I have a second? Senator Stevenson?
I would second.
Seconded. I'll place that motion for a vote. Representative Tusher, if you can hear me, we're pretty close on a quorum, so if we could have you chime in on the vote, especially what's required under the statute, and also Mayor Wilson, if you're there and can chime in on the vote, it would be helpful. All in favor of the motion that we move into executive session, say aye.
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 Aye. All in, he said, okay. Thanks, Representative. I'll rule the motion carries. We will now move into closed session. Members of the public who are here, we're going to ask you to accommodate us, or do we stay here? Oh, we're going to move next door. So members of the public here, if you can be patient, we'll move into our closed session. We will rejoin into public meeting once we complete our executive closed session. For those on the agenda who will be presenting in closed session, you would check with Don, and he will tell you who's going to be presenting first. We actually have two proposals. We will invite you in, then we will excuse you after your proposal, then we will let the next presenters in. So thank you. Let's not adjourn, but let's move into closed session.